very first one.
So I'll just go out and say it.
Are you gonna go out and
Besides
say it?
Iron Man, besides Iron Man, this is probably one of my favorite.
I
standalone
fucking
movies.
love this movie.
This movie's really good.
I fucking love this movie.
So one of the things that I wrote is honestly, it's one of the the best underdog stories. Like, it's very, very well done. Like, he's so weak and so just feeble in the beginning. Like, he's got like heart, and that's what makes Captain America Captain America.
Yeah.
And I also noticed rewatching this, like, personality wise, he didn't change much throughout the MCU at all. Like, they kept him very, very kind-hearted.
Yeah.
Like, they kept him very kind-hearted throughout the whole thing. He's one of the least characters that had like character development. It's because he didn't need to.
Yeah.
He's already great. They established that. That's why he gets the serum. But anyways, go ahead. I got notes of the ends.
It opens, with like them in Germany and like introducing Red Skull, getting the Tesseract, I think, and it opens with them fighting him in the ice. Then you cut to that, but I just put Hugo Weaving is perfectly cast as the Red Skull.
I wrote we need more Red Skull in MCU. I hate that.
We'll never get it.
No, that's not true. There's actually a rumor that in Captain America 4 he comes back because he's no longer forced to be.
Yeah, he isn't, but he's like a fucking legless spirit ghost.
No, he goes back to normal.
I wouldn't want him to come back like that, though. I just wish we had got more of him early on.
No, but I think
it's
too
late for him now.
No, I don't think so.
It is.
No, they can set up nicely.
What's he gonna come back and be like? I Heil Hitler. I'm back.
No.
What the hell is
Obviously,
he gonna do now? What's his
obviously,
motivation?
No, that wouldn't be his motivation. It'd be different. And I mean, we could see him team up with like
Captain America.
Bullseye. No, yeah, Captain America. We can see him team up with like Bullseye, or we can see him team up like they actually.
Yeah,
do
but
team
I feel
up.
like that detracts from the character for me. I feel like he works best as like on his own.
He wouldn't be a
can't see
leader.
him being
Bullseye
like
would be like under him.
Team up or
Bullseye
like
would be under
having,
him.
I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me.
I mean, we're supposed to get Daredevil, but we'll see.
I hope so. And it's supposed to be Charlie Cox, right?
Yes.
I just started watching the Daredevil show, and I'm so fucking into it. It's so good.
So good.
Anyways, as I wrote, the CGI of thinning him down is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it holds up perfectly to this day. I don't know how the hell they did that, because it's literally
It took
like
work.
a fucking stick
It took work.
versus a mattress. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, the size difference is ridiculous, and it looks perfect.
Yeah. It doesn't look unnatural at all. Like, it looks very well.
No, it really holds up very well. I love the chemistry between Bucky and Steve. I feel like is really good, especially early on.
Yep.
Like them having those little conversations. I think he says right before he leaves, what did he say? Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. You're taking all the stupid with you. Like that's like just like they feel really realistically like
it
friends.
feels genuine, and you see it more later on in the future things. But
yeah,
like you can see the build up here. It's very nice. You can actually sit and think like, oh, they've been friends for a while.
Yeah, you can really tell.
Yeah.
I wrote, how short is Steve supposed to be? Because, like, you see the thing where the guy steps up on top of the thing and, like, puts your face in the thing.
Yeah.
But he's, like, you think they would build those things to be designed for, like, an average height of person.
No, he's short.
But what is he, like, 4'9"?
I don't know.
Like, he has to be
short.
really,
He's short.
like, they show him next to Bucky as well, and the size difference is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He has to be, like, 5 foot or below. Like,
yeah,
really, like, that's
short.
crazy. Like, he's a short motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which I never really noticed the first few times.
Actually, I'm curious. Hold on. Hey, Alexa, how tall is Steve Rogers before the serum?
Here's something I found on the web. According to wikipedia.org, B at just 5'4" 1.63 meters.
5'4" That's too low. Alexa, shut up.
5'4". No, but because Bucky's probably like 6'2", 6'3".
Still though, damn. They
5'4"
made that thing to
guy?
only be like for 6 foot people and up. Like damn, fuck
5'4",
short people.
5'4" is pretty short for a guy. Most guys' average height is 5'10".
Still, damn.
He's not that much shorter. It's like he's like a head short almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think doesn't his eyes come up to like... He just
seemed really short. His eyes are like in the neck.
In the neck, yeah. Yeah, he is very short though. He is.
Yeah, so I never noticed. This is the first time I noticed this was watching this movie is the very first time that they show they have Red Skull in the lab with Zola and they're working on the weapons. The first time they show Zola is a reference to his suit. I didn't realize that. It's him in a reflection on like a box or something, and it looks like he's on a TV screen. It's like, but it's like his reflection.
Yes.
And I was like, oh shit, that's like a total reference to him in, in the
I
comics.
didn't even catch that, but you're right.
I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times. I never caught that until this last reviewing. I was like, oh, that's really fucking cool. Let's see. I wrote about the flag scene where he takes down the pole
Yeah,
and gets
smart.
the free ride.
That goes to show you how
That's such
smart
a classic scene,
Yep.
like iconic scene. That's such a great scene.
Yeah, work smart, not hard.
Yeah. I wrote the first serum test that they used on Red Skull completely removed all of his skin and turned his bones red. I'm like, that's like a weird jump to then now using it on Cap, and it's just like makes him stronger.
Well, they have been testing it for a while.
And is Red Skull supposed to be like superhuman?
Yeah, he is.
In the MCU though, is he? Because they never show him
so.
do any superhuman feats of strength. He just shoots guns.
Yeah, no, but I believe he is. I do believe he's supposed to be. I can't remember.
I feel like he would be in the comics, but I feel like they could have changed it maybe, or maybe they just never mention it because he never uses any sort of like superhuman ability.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. You're right. He does shoot mostly.
He just looks like a shitty little skull man.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's true. You're right. He does. Never used any of those feats. I don't think he's as strong as Steve.
No,
I don't
probably
think
not,
so.
because it's not the correct
It's
version
not
of
the
the
correct
serum.
version,
But it's just like weird that the first version of the serum, rather than making you stronger, completely strips all your skin off and turns your skull red.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, that's a big difference.
Really
Dr. Erskine, I love.
Yes.
As a character.
Yep.
He's
One of the
really
notes
great.
that I wrote, which is actually not here. I'm actually missing one of my notes and my Avengers notes too. But it doesn't matter. I could talk about Avengers for like a solid hour. But anyways, one of the things that I wrote is the relationship that he builds with
Erskine.
Yeah, it's very believable.
Yeah, love it.
It's very, very, very believable. It makes you think like obviously he's been keeping an eye on him for a little bit. Like he's noticed. And it's not even just that. It's the way. It's not even just
an
that.
eye on him a little bit because it seems like he just kind of like discovers him in that recruitment.
I think he does. I think he discovers him because at this point they've caught him, like doing this repeatedly, and he's been keeping an eye on him. Like
no, because he's literally just standing there and he hears Steve say, "I got no right to do any less than that. Lay down my life for this country." And then it seems like he goes after.
Yeah,
him
you're
after
right.
that.
You're right. It's not that he's been watching for a while, but I do think he knew of him because obviously they know he's been lying on the paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he was sitting. I think he was sitting by the room on purpose just to hear him out and be like,
It's
I think,
possible.
but I think that's the possibility. I don't think he was watching him, but I think he wanted to be like, let me see why this person's been trying to
so hard. Yeah.
But no. And so when he does die, it's like, damn, like
he did not have to die for any reason. By the way, like
no, yes he did. Yes he did.
Just so they couldn't make another serum.
Exactly.
But like,
that's exactly why he had to die. It's part of the story. Damn. He's the only one that knew the perfect serum.
Damn.
But yes,
my man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh wait, no, wait. Before we go past his death, can we talk about the scene where he's like,
the drinks?
Yeah.
I wrote it down
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, what am I doing? I can't give you. You have a procedure tomorrow, and then he's like, Steve's like, you can drink it later. He's like, drink it later. I drink it now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not having a procedure.
I don't have a procedure.
So
drink
good.
it later. I drink it now.
Yeah, so good.
That was really
He's good. He's so good.
And I didn't like. It's actually really hard to tell. Like you can tell that he looks familiar, but it's actually like weird that it's Stanley Tucci. Like
I know.
He's so dressed up with the beard and shit. It's like, oh, that's Stanley Tucci. He does such a great job. Like his performance is amazing.
His performance is very, very well done. It sucks that he had to die.
Yeah. Yeah, and that first transforming scene is great. Like really, really good.
Yes, still holds up.
It's a little weird that he starts screaming from the pain, and then he's like, no, I can do it. And then as soon as he says I can do it, he just completely silent after that. Like no,
yeah, but I think that was
point.
on purpose. That was to show you his heart, where he's like, I don't want it to worry.
Yeah,
that's just showing his character
Yeah,
again.
I
He
thought
doesn't
about
want
that.
it to stop it.
Yeah.
So that's just him showing again, like, I'm not trying to convenience people. Like,
Man comes out a slab of meat. Like he's so fucking big when he comes out.
He does, dude.
The size difference
huge.
is ridiculous.
It's huge.
His dick?
No, but like, can you imagine? They obviously were expecting some kind of growth because.
But damn, boy, he even gets taller. They talk about. He's like
yeah.
the first thing he says when he gets out. He's like, "How do you feel?" He's like, "Taller."
Yeah.
Which is a little weird.
But I'm saying, can you imagine like if they didn't build, they weren't expecting him
long
to
enough,
grow,
and he just fucking.
Yeah, and they come out, his neck's all snapped. Like,
Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said everybody is constantly just roasting Steve, just like casually before he becomes big. Like they just casually just being like he walks in, and I think it might be Howard or somebody up in the viewing room is like, Jesus Christ, somebody get that guy a sandwich. It's just like everybody's just roasting him to his face, like unintentionally. They just don't even think about it. They just can't help but be like, God damn.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny. I said, man, why Erskine got to be the only one who got shot? Like, at least have one other person die, so it doesn't seem like only him had to die. But And then the guy running away, he fucking shits on the grandma with the gun. He's like, ah! That was so weird. That always stuck out to me when I saw it.
Yeah.
The first time was the fucking weird grandma with the gun.
That scene of him chasing the guy, though, that scene is amazing. It's actually, I'm going to go ahead and say it, it's one of the best scenes in all of MCU because you get to see a lot of Steve's raw power, right? Mm-hmm. But not only do you see Steve's raw power, you see him not used to it. When he turns the corner, he falls into that building.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. It's funny, but it's just like you're like, wow, like what a difference in power his serum is giving him. Like he like when he does that first takeoff and he takes years like, oh damn,
the way he's just speeding up,
barefoot.
Yeah,
barefoot.
Well, it's not barefoot. You know, he's wearing fake feet.
But it's barefoot.
But he's barefoot. Yeah,
and his cool. It's so cool to see him like get used to his.
It really is like a great way to show like subconsciously even just like the extent of his powers is like he hits the fucking window, gets right back up like nothing's happened, and then he runs barefoot over broken glass and nothing happens. So you can be like, oh, like he's tougher, like his skin is a lot tougher. Like just like without calling direct attention to it and be like, your skin is now tougher. You can now run fast. Like it visually shows you, which I like.
Yep. His speed, his strength, his endurance, stamina. Yeah. Endurance is part of that, but it's so good.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? That whole first stage is good. I wish that they had. I feel like they maybe hammed up the shield thing a little bit too much in that they.
In that part, yes.
Well, not
in that. With the door.
Yeah, but I wish that they had done either one or the other because they already did the trash can earlier, and then they did that. I wish they had just stuck with one because they did it too many times.
Yeah, you're talking about like just foreshadowed it, just that one.
Yeah, just have it be one or the other. I feel like the car door would have made more sense instead of just having being beat up in the alley. But
how funny was it with that kid? When
it's okay, I can swim.
Yeah, it's okay. He's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like a classic movie trope where you'd be like, oh, he's gonna have to choose between the guy or the kid.
Yeah, and the kid's just like, no, go get
Why the fuck would I be able to swim? I'm fucking like, I'm 10 years old. Like, of course I can swim.
Good.
That's all I do.
So good.
It's the 1940s. What else am I gonna do with my life?
Didn't he jump? If I remember correctly, because he jumped in the water, right?
Yeah, to go to
the sub, right? He caught up to it.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's right. Even on serum, that's a little bit like, what the hell? But to be fair, it's also like the first built like submarine. Like submarines weren't that quick when they were first built.
It's so like futuristic
looking
and
though.
sleek.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't think it moves that quick. I don't think they've gotten technology to move that fast.
I don't know. Maybe. I wrote though, like he throws them up and like the suicide like pill of the tooth is pretty fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like damn.
Yeah.
Like the way he just like it's like ugh.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah. Ugh, God damn. I wrote that it doesn't make any sense to me that they would just immediately sideline Steve after not only seeing what he does, but just like this is what you were giving him the serum for.
Yeah, so
is to have him fight.
That's actually one of my thought processes. I was like, why did they sideline him?
It really does. There's not a strong enough reason.
No, there isn't.
For him to go there.
Fuck him.
Yeah, like maybe
But if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have Captain America. So.
Yeah. That's true.
Because that's where all the proper.
But I feel like they could have connected it better somehow. I don't know how, but it just felt a little strange that they immediately get out. He's like, all right, I'm ready to fight. He's like, no, you're an experiment. We don't want you to fight.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're an experiment. We need to do more tests on you. You're just like, no, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, basically. Like, that's another thing. Is the government would definitely be like, grab him and put him in
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. That's what would have made more sense. Yeah, that whole montage of him doing that is pretty nice. The progression of seeing him like read the lines off the shield to then memorizing it and knowing it.
But also seeing how miserable it's making him too, especially when he gets to the army base.
I wrote like the punching Hitler thing is great. You gotta love the Hitler punch, but he seems pretty fucking happy with it.
He's okay with it
until the military
part. He's okay with it.
Which is only one thing. Like he's actually happy. Like he's sitting in the
right.
crowd and smiling and being like happy because everybody's like hyped up about him being on screen. He's like, he's like, this is cool.
It's because he feels like he's doing what he wanted to do, which was make a difference.
Yeah.
He's feeling like he's making a difference, but he's not. He's not at all.
Yeah, and I love that when we do get to the military base. There's such a as a directorial choice, like the harsh shift in color.
Yep.
Like that, just hard smash cut. To
we go from vibrant yellows, blues,
and then
red to grays.
Just nothing.
I noticed the
everybody
same
fucking
thing.
hates him, which is really weird, by the way. Why do that? Why are they so pissed at him? Like
because they feel like he's making money, he's profiteering off the stuff. I don't think they realize.
But they even show in the montage. They show like some soldiers. Buying like his comics, I think.
Yeah.
There's like a soldier buying his comics, being like,
those are soldiers on the street. Those aren't soldiers out on duty, and that's the difference. They're like, here he is making himself Captain America, but he's not out here fighting with us.
Yeah.
Which is why we get to the good part.
Not that it was his fault.
No, it's not his fault, but this is when we get to the good stuff, and that's when he overhears about all
the good stuff, like the guy's ass.
Yeah, the guy's ass. No, but for real, like when he starts to overhear like this, the 7th or whatever, the 7th unit.
Oh yeah, Bucky's in the 7th.
And this is when the movie really hits.
Stan Lee is an army man in the crowd. That's his cameo.
Yeah, it's not really one of his best. Yeah, it's not one of his best.
Yeah. So then he starts to hear about that, and he gets fucking pissed because they won't send anybody after to go.
And he goes by himself,
alone.
And he is such a badass dude.
I love that look, by the way.
Yeah,
like the leather jacket over the old school thing.
Old school look,
it's really nice with like a regular helmet. Yep. I really like that look.
It's funny when I used to play Ultimate Alliance. I believe the first one. That was one of the looks that I always wore. It's that old school.
I think
the shield really too. Nice I even like the shield. Well, the OG shield they gave him for that, not the round shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one that's like supposed to be like the emblem.
Yeah,
I like that shield too. Though that shield does not hold up well now because it's not adamantium.
No,
not adamantium. What is it? Vibranium.
Vibranium, yeah. Yeah, so he goes in, gets everybody out.
Except for Buck.
Well, he gets Bucky out.
Yeah, but
like separately because he's on his own.
But honestly, like, again, poor fucking Buck, man.
Yeah.
He really, honestly, like, he made a very good point.
He went through it twice. Like, he gets tortured in there and then gets turned into the Winter Soldier.
Like, he made a good point in Falcon when he said, I haven't had a break. Like, I've been fighting since before I went on ice.
Yeah.
And then after, when I get woken up, like, he's like, I don't know how to chill.
Yeah. Let's see. He gets out and them coming back. Like the whole group coming back is just so fucking nice. You're like, yes! Like when they walk in, him and Bucky are at the front, it's like, fuck yeah. Fuck you fucking weird general who didn't believe in anybody.
He has such like a cocky walk when he walks up to them too.
Dude. But
he has a cocky
so
walk.
Swaggy as fuck.
Yeah, but it's deserved. He's just like, I did this.
He's like,
what
you gonna do about it?
Yeah. But also, I like how they gave us a subversion there where they make you think he's about to yell at.
Yeah, because in a lot of other movies, they would have actually had something happen to him.
Yeah,
but
and he's
I
just
like that they went with the choice. Like, maybe it's not that realistic, but I prefer it that way anyway.
He's like
let's not deal with all that bullshit that just adds a bunch of extra shit on the story that we don't need.
But he was just like, he basically just praises him like. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'll accept any punishment. He's like, nah,
actually, I like Tommy Lee Jones in this movie. By the way.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's
great.
He does a good job in that movie.
I didn't like the weird. It seems so unnecessary of him like coming back after all that and like being seen as a hero, and then the fucking hell. I can't remember her name, but she's in Game of Thrones. The girl that like kisses him.
Yeah.
It just seems so unnecessary.
It was unnecessary
because they have it, and then Peggy gets pissed at him.
It was for comedic purposes.
That's not funny.
No, that's not funny. But what happens after, where she's mad?
Yeah,
and they clearly show that she's jealous, and then she takes the gun.
But it's like nothing. And then in the next scene, she's just like they never talk about it again. She's not mad at it anymore.
No, she gets over it. She gets over it. She does.
Yeah, but they don't show her getting it. She's just like the next time they're together.
He explained it already. He explained it. She just needs time to cool off. But I'm saying like
they do that, and then the next time they're together after all of his like fighting, she's just fine.
Again. Yeah, because they skip past all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They skip past all of it, so then it feels like why even do it in the first place?
Like I said, comedic purposes, bro. That all leaded up to just her shooting the shield and be like, oh hey, it works.
The actual official uniform looks great. Like his design for that, I think is. I actually like it better than the Avengers one.
Yeah.
I think the Avengers one is. I get the purpose behind the Avengers one. The purpose behind the Avengers one is explained in the movie, but I feel like I prefer this look.
Yeah, I think it just looks darker
for Phase 1. Yeah, the Howling Commandos are pretty good. Like they don't do much, but like they're well cast and like well portrayed. Yeah, and that you can like. You're not like, who the fuck are these guys? You're just like, okay, this is they're like doing some shit. They're having fun. What else? Where did he
Didn't Steve open up a tab at the bar?
Yeah, he did.
It's a tab he never paid back for. It's a tab he never paid for, man.
No, fuck it. Yeah. There's a point where Peggy's like watching footage of him out in the front lines.
Yeah.
And you see the picture in there, and it's like, where the fuck did he get a picture of her to put in his compass?
Yeah, they don't explain that.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
And like they don't like she's apparently last time we saw them together, she was pissed at him. So where the fuck did he get a picture?
I'm telling you, there had to have been some in betweens where they would come back.
Yeah, there must have been something they missed. But
But how cute was it that she got all smiley when she saw the picture? Like, and even Tommy Lee Jones was like, he looked over her like, yeah. Like he knew that relationship was building. Like he saw it.
I wrote that it's kind of funny that Winter Soldier is actually like a more grounded movie than this.
What do you mean?
In that, like, this movie is guys with red skulls, laser beams.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of realism.
Yeah, it's like way more grounded,
so
which is really weird. You would think.
I'm noticing that though. That's a thing. That's a theme in the MCU. We went from these slightly. They were definitely trying to follow the comics more in these movies without building up to anything.
Yeah,
and you can tell it. You can tell from Phase 1 to Phase 2 there was a big shift.
Yeah,
because they know that they messed up on some of these movies when it came to Avengers because, oops, we didn't answer these questions that could have been answered. And you could tell they started to set up everything.
Yeah.
And they also started to ground it more. They wanted to do, like, set with technology, like Mysterio. He's technological. You know what I mean? Like, these characters are more technological based than they are like, oh, shit, he's got superpowers.
Right.
And, I mean, yeah, that's just the direction that they went. So,
yeah.
But you can tell. There's a big shift from Phase 1 to Phase 2.
Yeah, there is. I think Phase 2, I don't know. It's we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
It's hard to say without having seen it recently. I like that they get Zola, and they have that scene where he's, like, eating the food. And Tommy Lee Jones is, like, interrogating him, quote-unquote. And I like that he's, like...
Scare tactics.
Yeah, he's talking to him, and he's like, you know, Red Skull's plan is insane, right? And... the way he words it, I just found so nice. He's like, the sanity of the plan is no consequence, or whatever the fucking, whatever his accent is.
Yeah, but no, but it's not even just that.
And he's like, because he can do it.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. It's how they played. It's how they played. Like, it's how they played him too. Where he's like, I don't have to hurt you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just let you go. He's like,
and you'll die.
He's like, you guys have figured out how to like decode our things. He's like, because I told them that you defected and you told us everything.
Yeah,
like,
you're fucked either way.
They played him so good.
I thought it was funny that like I get it, the salute for Hydra. I was just thinking like, come on guys, can she be any more original than just adding another fist? Like it's just the Heil Hitler, but double.
Yeah.
Like come on, guys, come on, let's be more original here.
Yeah, it's no.
Really ripping him off. I get it though, because you know, like two heads and.
How long has Captain America been around? Like the original first comic. Like, wasn't the original Captain America, like, I swear, it's like a big war propaganda thing. Like, I swear.
Yeah, I think it's
supposed to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bucky dies, gets shit on.
And
he's dead.
You can, actually, one of the things that I wrote, one of the notes that I wrote here, you can see why Steve has such a guilt over Bucky, like, why he feels so responsible for everything that happened. Because, like, that fight, like, probably could have been done a little bit better. Like, you can tell they fucked up on that fight.
Just because they got separated, but that's not really like
but Steve as a person, to him, he's gonna beat himself up about it.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault, but to him it was.
Yeah, well that would be
he was in charge of all of them.
That's a very typical like trope though. Is that, like,
I know it's a very typical trope.
Because everybody ends up doing that.
But that's his best friend, and he should have. I bet you he felt like he should have watched out more for him than anybody else.
Yeah,
and I guarantee that's why he felt guilty. Plus, didn't he get hit with the shield? Like, didn't he Bucky put up the shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then got launched out, right? Like.
But it's not the shield's fault.
No, but
otherwise he would have been vaporized.
Steve, yeah, I know. But I'm saying Steve got distracted though with Bucky, did he not?
No, he didn't get distracted. I think he got shit on. Like the guy like hit him and he lost the shield, so then Bucky picked it up.
Okay.
And he was just like on the ground in the corner.
I can't remember. There's a note. It sucks. I don't have like the full notes on here, which sucks. But there's a note that I wrote and I was like, I know there's a point here. I just can't remember what it is now.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's not a big deal.
And then
another phase to talk about.
Yeah, and then it's just it is pretty like heartbreaking when he's like in the bar and like I can't get drunk, like yes. I can't, like it's impossible. My metabolism won't allow me to. I was like, damn. Also, like why does she know that he's in this fucking decrepit bar?
Yeah, broken up. Yeah.
But I like when we cut to a little later. He's got the bike and it has like a slot for the shield on the front to cover him. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, that whole scene where he's like riding the bike and he puts the thing on. That whole scene's badass as hell.
I did think it was weird though. There's a point where he rides in between two enemy bikes, and the one on the right, he just like. It's like he pulls the pin on a grenade, but it's just the bike. He like pulls something off the bike, and the whole bike explodes. I'm like, did he just pull the pin? Is the whole bike a grenade?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what happened there.
I don't get it. He just like grabs something off the back and ting, and you literally hear like a grenade pinball.
They might have had grenades on the side of the bike.
But it was like a muffler. He like pulled something off of a muffler. It looked like I don't know. It just was really weird.
Well, let's be honest for a second. Like Hydra members have no idea committed suicide, so they probably do have like a bunch of shit attached. I don't know. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch that specific part.
Yeah. So then he breaks in, or not breaks in, but he gets himself captured on purpose, presumably.
Yeah. Presumably.
So then they can like come in through the windows, and shit hits the fan, and Red Skull goes to the massive ass fucking plane, and they're chasing after him in the car, and they finally have their first kiss right before he jumps up.
First and last.
Yeah. Presume they have a kiss when he goes back in time. A few.
But that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was willing to see any of that. MCU times.
And then
they do have another kiss because it does show them back in time at the end of Avengers, and they kiss while they're dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Do they kiss while they're
dancing? Yeah, they do. Yeah,
okay,
I believe that. Maybe I'm wrong, but in my head, I picture them as kissing.
I think she's just like laying her head on his shoulder.
She might.
But yeah, they have their kiss, and then Tommy Jones is like, "I'm not kissing you," and then he goes.
It's so good.
And then he jumps in, and
we have that fight.
The fight on the plane with for starters, with the lackeys that are trying to take the bombs out, and the guy they actually send a guy into the propeller. I was like, that's really fucking bad for a PG-13 movie.
When I seen that, I was like, oh shit! Like
that's wild.
Yeah, when I seen that, I was like,
this is Disney era. This is Disney era.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Which we talked about it before. We were talking about like you said they didn't have it when Iron Man came out. They got it the next year. They did. Iron Man 2008 and then 2009 they bought it.
Yeah, but
so all these movies,
some of those movies were planned before Disney though.
Yes, but still, I mean, they let it through,
that propeller thing, like that blew my mind. Yeah, that blew my mind. You're right. And actually, one of my notes, I'll tell you, I'm so mad. I don't know what my other notes are. But one of the notes was that propeller scene. I was like, oh shit, like I was wrong. Like they do, like
that's like, I guess he just becomes a mist and you don't really see anything, but like that's how it would happen pretty much. Like that's how it happens. Actually, that's not how it happens. And I was gonna say Indiana Jones, but really in Indiana Jones, he's like, it's like a goopy.
Goopy, yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
it's like, oh god,
it's like really goopy. Yeah.
But in this, he just kind of becomes. It's like super quick. It's like, and then he just becomes a mist. But it's still like, damn, like that's, whew.
Yeah.
But that whole scene was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then he fucking crashes it back on there, and I find it weird, the cube. Looking back on it, watching back on it now, when he does grab the cube and it kills him. It seems more clear on a rewatch after knowing what happens. It does really look like he gets beamed somewhere. It doesn't look like he gets vaporized. Yep. It looks like he gets teleported.
Yeah, it's true.
Which in my mind, having not seen it in a while, and before seeing Endgame and all that, in my mind I pictured him as being vaporized. That's what I remember.
No, that's how
he doesn't.
No,
it really looks like he gets teleported.
Yep.
Which is nice to keep the continuity. But I was wondering, why does the cube kill him from touching it at the end, but not when he grabs it barehanded to begin with?
Yep.
Like, there's a little bit of like a error there.
Yeah, there's something about that that's weird. And maybe it'll be explained in the future, but I doubt it.
Because he doesn't try to use it. He just picks it up, and then it kills him.
Kills him.
Yeah. I wrote, shit got me crying at the end.
When he crashes?
Yeah. Oh, dude. That gets
seems
me every
rough,
time.
But here's my thing with it. It's like
maybe a little unrealistic that he probably didn't actually have to crash it.
Yeah,
like he could have done something
that's
else.
Okay. He could have done something else. He could have, but he would have been stranded there. He would have been stranded regardless.
Yeah.
It might not have survived. Those are like sub-zero temperatures regardless. But it's like when the ship crashes, how fast he loses like communication. Like the ship didn't blow up. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I could see like that impact just fucking shutting everything down. Like there's no electricity.
That's true.
Nothing's
You're
working
right. That's
when
true.
they get there.
It could, but like
so the impact could have just fucking shook everything and fucked everything up.
I mean, that's true.
Or it's because he crashed and went like under the snow, and so he couldn't get a connection.
But he didn't.
He did though. It hits, and then you see it like tilt in. Like,
yeah, right. But when they find it, it's weird.
Well, it's in a cave.
Yeah, but you're right.
Because the ship grows around it.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're
but
right.
when he first hits, like the front of the ship, which he's in, is under the snow.
You're right. That's probably what happened. Is they got blanketed under everything and lost communication.
That's what I'm thinking. But damn, dude. Dude, fuck that scene. That scene fucks me up. Like,
and I like the respect. I like the respect that Tommy Lee Jones has as a character, where he's like, he knows what's about to happen, and he tells the soldier like, get out.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's probably hoping for the best, but he knows what's going to happen. That's why he stands by the door and waits, and then he's like, damn.
That shit just kills me. Like them talking about the dance. Like that's why I wept at the end of Endgame when he finally got the dance.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Oh man, that was one of like the 3 or 4 times that I cried during Endgame, which we'll get to. But
I did cry a couple times during Endgame. It's not probably as parts that you expect. It's really weird, and I'll tell you. But yeah, no. Overall, Captain America, that's a solid 8 to 9 for me.
That's like I gave it a so when I watch movies I rank them. I do a 4 out of 5 or 1 through 5 is the scale I put it on, and I gave it a 5. I just I love.
I didn't want to give
it
a 10.
Is just like connects with me.
It's
not a perfect movie, but it
so
connects
good.
with me.
It's
personally.
so good. It's a good underdog story. It's so good.
The way that it was able to make me cry, it's like enough for maybe like, damn,
good.
This is good. Like,
surprisingly, I only cried the first time I watched it. I haven't cried since. In Endgame, I had to watch it like 3 or 4 times before I stopped crying. But like,
and then I cried again at the end. I cried again at the end because he wakes up.
Oh,
but which by the way was so cool the way he wakes up and then he's like, I know that game. I was there at that game. Like, how did they fuck that up? You fucking idiots.
Yeah,
like, of course he was.
I mean, to be fair, they don't have files of Steve Rogers was in this game. They don't have files of that.
But I mean, they should know when he went missing. And they should know this game was like 3 years before he went down.
True. That's
like,
true.
Of course, he could have listened to it on the radio.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, he figures it out, busts that shit down, and runs out. And I love that, like, something is different about it immediately when he gets out into the city.
You can tell
I don't know if it's the color grading or the way the camera is moved.
No. Even his attitude. I'm saying when he first wakes up, something feels off to him. He's just like.
But also, I'm just saying, like, in terms of like the visuals, like something is different. I can't tell. Like the feel of the movie is different to the way it was shot in the past.
Yes, because
it's more like the Avengers.
In the past, yes, exactly.
Maybe it's the aspect ratio.
No, it's not even just the aspect ratio. It's not even just the aspect. It's the colors because even when they're in New York, it's very still.
It's a lot brighter.
Gray. No, it's gray. It's muted because it's during like a depression like era. It's during like war. It's during like so even on those scenes, the only time you ever see vibrant colors is when he thinks he's making a difference by doing that.
Yeah.
And stuff, but more than that, even the color like. When he's not Captain America and they're doing all the scenes on the street, they're all very gray and very like it's very muted colors compared to like he wakes up
in New York and it's just like,
oh shit. Like,
But I love that. That's one of my favorite scenes too.
Actually, I think one of the best ways to explain that would be like whenever you see old timey war photos, black and white. Right?
Yeah.
So I think they tried to go for a very muted black and white look. And then we're in the modern times, and I think it is aspect ratio and color and everything. It's like, we're in modern times.
But it's just like, you can tell immediately as soon as he wakes up, something's wrong. Just based off the visuals, your mind is like, wait, something's different here. What's going on?
Yeah. And I think it is the aspect ratio, though. I think it's very HD'd, very like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is Avengers was shot, and I'll have to check, but it's shot at a very unusual aspect ratio where it's the whole screen.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about when we get to the Avengers. But
I mean, that's next.
Yeah. But yeah, the way he runs out and the way the camera is spinning around him to show like everything that he's seeing as he's seeing it, and then Fury coming up and being like, "You've been asleep, Captain," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then
he comes out, he's like, "Oh!" Like
yeah. And then he's like, you can tell he like gets like really like, damn it. And then he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, I had a date. I had a date, and I fucking cried.
Yeah,
I cried. I couldn't do it.
You can tell that kills him.
It killed me. I can't stand it, dude.
Good. Honestly, like it's so funny because I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, I did not care for Captain America as a character, but MCU Captain America really turned me around on the character, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Really turned me. Except for that big barrel-chested motherfucker in the comics. That every time I see the design, it kills me on the inside.
I wrote that I think the music, I think this is out of Phase 1, probably the movie, aside from the Avengers, with the best music.
It is.
The best soundtrack.
It is, like, dude, every time his theme plays.
Yeah.
Okay, so every time that I've ever seen his theme play, like when in Endgame, when Tony gives him the shield back, and, like, you get that subtle little, like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
his theme alone is amazing, because it's very close to Avengers, like, that's why.
And then the post-credit scene is just a trailer for the Avengers, which is interesting. You don't realize it at first because it's the scene of him like boxing and Fury walks in, and then you're like, wait, why is this in a different aspect ratio? What's going on? It's like way smaller, and then you realize, oh, it's actually a trailer.
Yeah.
Which I think is how it was in the theaters.
It was.
So that's interesting. So they really just like came out of nowhere, like, here's the trailer. There you go.
Yeah. Which I mean, at the time, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
And yeah, this movie is fucking great.
Yeah, it's
really great.
It's really good.
Fucking love it. All right, so on to the Avengers.
Yes.
The final one. All right.
Okay, so it's funny, right?
This episode is going to be 30 hours long.
It is going to be long, but let's just get right to me saying right now, I was wrong. Okay?
Oh, I know you were wrong. I watched it back recently and heard you say Avengers at like fucking 18 or wherever you put it. I was like, no, hell no. You
dude,
put it under
wrong.
like Ant-Man or the Wasp. I was like, what the hell is going on?
No, I was wrong because it's been a while since I've watched the first Avengers. It's been a very long time.
Me too.
This is gonna be controversial. I like Avengers 1 better than I like Infinity War and Endgame. Okay.
That's not true. When you watch Infinity War and Endgame,
no, it's not.
You're gonna switch.
I just recently...
Let it be known.
No. I recently rewatched Endgame. Okay, here's why I like Avengers. Right? Avengers, everybody, and when I say everybody, the whole cast has moments. They all have moments where you're like, oh shit, that character's so badass. They can't do that with Infinity War. They can't do that with Endgame. They couldn't do that with every character, every cast. Some people got overshadowed. Some people got left behind.
They're different movies.
Yes, I know they're very different movies. But Avengers, every person on the team got their moment. Every person on the team got to be a badass. Every person on the team got enough screen time. Nobody felt like, damn, I wish this character had more screen time. Everybody on the screen was like, okay, this is fucking cool. They're so badass.
Except maybe Hulk. Hulk gets a lot less play, but it's because he shouldn't be the Hulk. But of course, that's part of the character. But he does get less.
Yeah, he does get less, but that makes sense because he's not going to be walking around.
That's more of like makes it more of a build up then to
when he does show up, because that scene when he shows up. Yeah. Before we get into that though, but yes, I was wrong. I'm not going to put it above Endgame and Infinity War because let's be honest, those movies are god tier. They're on a whole other level, but. I almost like them more just because everybody gets enough screen time where you're just
this is a great movie.
It is. It's amazing. The build up to that movie, the talks of all the characters leading to that movie, everything, even though it wasn't originally planned that way, it's just so good.
It even feels like, even though it does work so well, it even almost feels like, looking back on it, it's like, oh wow, looking back on it, I almost in my mind had felt like there was more before the Avengers. But
yes, same.
Like, it's just those few movies. They don't do anything with Black Widow or Hawkeye. Nope. They just show up. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But it did. It felt like there was way more before that, and it feels like there's way more history.
It just still works. It still works
amazingly.
So I put. I thought it was interesting how they just turn Hawkeye off the bat, like just immediately. Yep. He's just not going to be a good guy for like the first half of the movie. Just done.
Him and Selvig, both of them, like right off the bat, they're working for Loki.
Which is weird because
they're still themselves.
That was what the post-credit scene was at the end of Thor. Was Selvig and Loki?
Oh yes, yeah, you're right.
So it was for the Avengers.
Yeah, it was.
But that's the thing is, like in that post-credit scene, it seemed like Loki already was controlling Selvig because Loki says, "Well, that's interesting," and then right after he says it, Selvig says, "Well, that's interesting," in the same way. But I guess he wasn't technically.
No.
I don't know. It's a little weird because then he takes control of him in this movie. I don't know. But so Loki gets out and shit starts going crazy. The Tesseract starts to blow the shit up.
Yep.
And I like that Coulson is like going out with some of the agents and they're cutting out the equipment and shit just like starts going really bad. He's like, no, fuck it, leave it. He's like more worried about saving their lives than the equipment, even though.
Also, first introduction to Maria Hill. That's the first time you see her. And
that's true.
She's very likable. I actually liked her.
She doesn't really do anything in any of the movies that much.
No, she is.
She's in Winter Soldier, but then you barely, you don't see her again since Winter Soldier, do you?
Because that's what she is as a character, though.
Yeah, but
she's literally meant to be there to be Fury's right hand woman, and she literally only acts when she needs to. But whenever she does act,
maybe she'll come back once we get back to Fury.
Oh, she'll come back for sure
in these newer movies since he's
she'll be back. There's no way she won't. There's no way she won't. She's a big character for him at least.
I thought that I like the introduction for Black Widow as a character. In that it's
during that warehouse.
a very James Bond type intro of her. Like being tied up and the way they're interrogating her and shit.
And they make you think she's in so much trouble.
Yeah. And it's
and then she's like, this guy's just telling me everything.
He's pulling out all the stops right now.
Yeah. She's like, he's such an idiot. And he's like,
I'm not pulling out all the stops.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't say everything. It's so good.
Looking back on it, it wouldn't have been done the same way nowadays, just because of how much cleavage there is.
Yeah. It's not even just cleavage. It's like, the hitting on her was pretty hard.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't know. It doesn't come off as gratuitous.
No,
it almost feels like she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
As a part of her way to get them to be morons.
There's one part that bothers me with
and
that.
Make her seem weak.
Yeah, but there's one part that bothers me with that, and I think it's sped up so it looks weird. You know when she drops?
Yeah, and the thing breaks.
Yeah, the sound that she makes when she hits that ground, it's like a flop. It's like a flop.
Maybe,
it's like somebody pulled their cock on the table and smacked it, bro.
Still, though.
It's a weird noise. And even though she hits, it looks like it hurts, and then she bounces back up, but it looks sped up. Something about that looks odd, but it's still cool.
I think that whole scene of her shitting on them was really dope.
Like, it was one amazing. Of her best you got to see her be a complete badass.
Yeah.
Again, can't find my goddamn notes, but that's actually one of the notes I wrote. That Scarlett Johansson, like, she was like at her prime. In this movie. She's at her prime in this movie.
She does a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then she goes to meet Banner.
Yep.
And I think I had mentioned it is that I tried to take note of where he left off in Incredible Hulk and see if it matched up with this, but they don't say.
No, it doesn't.
Really
they do.
But it's way later, and but it clearly seems to be like India or something, and not British Columbia.
Yeah, he says it when they're arguing in the ship. I just can't remember where it is. But anyways, that whole scene, mind games, the whole scene, the whole time, from both of them.
Yeah, very, very interesting because you see when he like does the and like hits the table, how fucking terrified she is.
That's actually one of the things Rachel and I were talking about when we rewatched Avengers. That scene later on when he chases her, and she's like paralyzed in fear for a solid like few minutes. Like that's the first time you see her genuinely scared and shook.
But like even just the scene, like it seems all normal, like they're just like she's there like to trying to kind of like get him to come over or whatever. But then you realize she is like shitting her pants the whole time.
The whole time,
yeah.
Which it doesn't just build up and change her character; it builds up the Hulk very nicely.
Yeah, like, as in like, oof,
like, he's something.
It's gonna be a big deal when he comes out. I love the Iron Man suit, like walking and desuiting, like that. That whole little thing where he walks in and takes it off for him is very like I love that concept. Like we don't obviously he evolves to a point where he doesn't need it anymore, but I like that as like an evolution for him to be like I don't want to be sitting here having it pulled off like an Iron Man 1.
Yeah, no, and once again we get to see him and Peppers.
Yeah,
very awesome. Like
call your mom. Can you bunk over?
Yeah.
That's a
it's
classic.
so good. It's so good.
They're talking about the security. And it's like, it was your fault that we had the security breach last time with those guys coming up in the elevator where for construction. She's like, yeah, well, I handled that. And then Coulson comes up. He's like, security breach. Again. I thought we handled that.
That's so funny.
And then she's like, oh, Phil, how nice to see you. And he's like, I'm pretty sure his first name is Agent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, when is he Phil? Since when is he Phil?
When did he become Phil?
Yeah, it's so good.
Also, there's so many good jokes in just that one scene. He's like, they step off to the side, and he's like, I thought we were having a moment. She's like, I was having 12% of it.
12%? Yeah, it's so good.
That's great.
Yeah. Their chemistry is just, it's on point, man.
It's really good, yeah. I think it might be the best in this movie. Maybe 3. I have to see 3.
No, and 3 is good, but I think this is one of the best moments that they have. That is definitely most memorable.
I love the whole Coulson is like us, like a mega fan of Captain America, and like the conversations that he has with him when they bring him in. Then there's that scene before they got on the helicopter of Loki talking to the Chitauri guy in like the weird space place, and that just
it's out of place. It's out of place.
Very out of place and
something
just weird
and
corny and just like it doesn't fit at all.
But I don't think they thought about that fully. You know what I mean? They didn't think about that scene fully.
It just didn't age well.
No,
really.
It didn't. To be fair, the Thanos in that movie, because there's an after credit scene with Thanos, is not.
There is, yeah.
I was gonna say that Thanos isn't even Josh Brolin.
No, yeah. Well, of course it wouldn't be. But
no, yeah.
I really think they should like go back and put in like Josh Brolin just like for the continuity. Like 100%. They've done shit like that with different things. Like Star Wars did that all the time, and I feel like some of those changes were meh, but some of them were like, this is good for continuity to have the same.
Yeah,
like
I feel like
Yoda
it's funny because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's sacrilege for you to go back and change the original," right?
No, I don't think so. I think it would make a lot more sense.
This is one of those movies where it would make sense.
So that way, for people years from now watching all these in a row, it won't be like, well, what the fuck happened
I wouldn't
to
mind
face?
if they went back and changed Thanos.
I think it would be good. Yeah. It was really cool. A good thing about that scene, though, is that as he's talking to the weird Chitauri guy, it zooms in on his face and just ever so slightly out of focus in the background, like you see the massive fucking
the army
flying thing.
Yep.
Whatever those are called, the big slugs.
Or not the army, but the big thing,
And it's just like slithering around the background. You're like, oh shit, what is that? Like, it's just the way they framed it, like to be just out of focus, so you can't quite tell what it is, but you're like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, that was so cool to me. And the fucking helicarrier, god damn, the helicarrier is amazing.
Oh, wait, can we talk about, dude, the one line that I love, it gets me every time because it shows you the exact kind of man Steve Rogers is.
Oh, between him and
Bruce Banner, where he's like, what have you heard? He's like,
or he's like, I hear you're here to save the cube. And he's like, is that the only thing you've heard?
He's like, the only thing that matters. Yeah, he's like, the only thing that matters. And I'm like, dude, that shows you exactly the kind of character Cap is. It's so
great,
good.
Great moment between them. Of course, the helicarrier takes off. Or he's sitting there. He's like, "Is this thing a submarine?
Yeah.
Really? They want me in a submerged, pressurized container?" And then it takes off. He's like, "Oh no, this is way worse."
yeah.
And then they get to the bridge, and the first thing that happens is they get to the bridge, and Cap walks up, reaches in his pocket, pulls out the $10 bill for the bet, and gives it to Fury. He's like, because they made that bet of him, like, honestly, nothing would surprise me anymore. $10 says you're wrong.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
first thing he does is
that's
pulls out
what
the $10.
it's supposed to be, right? That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some people took that. You already know where I'm going, right?
No, I don't, but I don't.
Some people took that as a racism thing from back in the day that he was helping to help. But I was like, how did you think that when he's met Fury before that? Some people thought he was being racist and paying like the help.
No, that's just people.
Yeah, and I was like, that's people being stupid.
That's
I'm like,
people who didn't pay attention to the movies.
Yeah, like he met Fury before that, but yeah.
Fuck no.
But yeah.
Although if this movie was more realistic and he was like not such a good guy to be that he was, then at the end of the Captain America, he would have turned around and just called him the N-word.
Yeah, that's true.
But obviously he's supposed to be too good of a guy.
Yeah,
so
it's funny though. There really isn't. Never mind. Go ahead, keep going. I had nothing to do with what you're gonna say. It doesn't matter.
I love he tries to get him to sign his Captain America cards, and he's like, no, sure, it's no problem. It's fine.
Yeah. He tries to be slightly subtle like about it, but he's not.
He's clearly just like really wanting him to sign him. And I wrote, rewatching this really highlights problems with the Loki show. And the problem being is that the character makes no sense, because the character that we get in the show of Loki is the Loki from we've had the character development from. But they pulled him straight out of the Avengers, where he's the most evil fucking version of himself.
Yes,
and he just is, as soon as he gets pulled out of the Avengers, he's goofy, cracking jokes. Like, he's the Loki that we came to know in, like, Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So the characters do not align.
There's
true. No point in this movie where, when he's like, I'll have that drink now. That's, like, the only, like, moment of levity, really, that he has.
It's true.
Otherwise, he's a fucking evil son of a bitch.
But they went over some of it, and they said that around this time is when he was changing. You didn't see it physically in the movie, but his mentality was different around this time. And I do think that goes back to when they're sitting on the roof, and he's like, look around you, brother. And he's like, look, do you really think this is going to be yours to conquer? Like, I think that's around when it really hits him, where he's like, okay. And yeah, he does stab Thor, but I really do think mentally he's just like, yeah, this might have been a little bit more than I wanted.
But still, the shit that he does, though.
I know.
It's like, I just, there is a shift there, and I get the, like, obviously, they didn't want to, like, reiterate all of that.
You're right. He is the Loki that we know.
It just creates a little bit of a
weirdness to it. Yeah.
A weirdness for Loki, but
I was going to make the argument that he sees what he's going to become, and he sees everything.
But he's acting like that before that,
which is true. He is.
So it's they could have done a little bit better job of transitioning that. Maybe.
Yeah, they should have kept him more evil and less like jokey.
Yeah, until he kind of realizes what's going on. Yeah, I don't know, but you gotta love Tony. Coming into the Loki fight.
So good.
Blasting another song.
Completely arrogant.
Miss me?
But in a good way, though. Yeah.
Great. And then when Thor shows up and Tony goes down to fight him, and they immediately start talking, and he's like, Does mother know that you weareth her drapes?
Yeah, so good. So good.
And Thor is way too fucking serious to like, compete back with that. He's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
And the fact that Loki waited on the cliff for them to have like
should have been a dead
10-minute fight should have been like, that's a big red flag.
Yeah,
like he's not trying to escape at all.
To be fair, they knew. They just didn't know what his game was. They didn't know what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, even Fury, as soon as he gets on there, he's like, why do I feel like he's the only person that wants to be on here right now?
Yeah. So they know, which is why they send in Natasha.
Yeah.
Which, let's talk about how awesome that moment is. Oh, sorry, you probably have
notes. There's a lot more between that. Yeah,
there's a lot that happens between that.
I love that Iron Man absorbs Thor hitting him with lightning as a result of Iron Man 2.
Yes.
Because of Whiplash.
Yes.
Because he saw what happened with Whiplash, and he's like, next suit I make, it's going to be upgraded.
There's a lot of things I noticed.
That's such a tiny little thing that they never mention it.
Dude, I have to give you a high five because I turned to Rachel and I said, they don't mention the upgrades that Tony gets in his suit.
It's just like,
but you can see why he does it.
Right, because like you could just be like, oh, well, he just has that now, but no, there's
reasons.
Pay attention. It's like
I'm gonna skip a little bit. I'm gonna skip a little bit to the end of Avengers real quick. You know the scene where they catch him and he falls and he hits the ground, right? And they take his helmet off and they're like, oh my god, is he alive or is he dead? Did you notice that a little bit later in Iron Man 3, he added to his suit, hey, vitals. And it reads out the vitals. That's shit like that where I'm just like, you can see like
tiny little
why
things
he does it.
Stuff that happened in the past that he improves on. Yeah.
Yes, it's so amazing that you see his improvements. So good.
Him absorbing the attack, and he's like, "Wow, would you look at that?"
Yeah,
like,
boom.
Probably because he hasn't been able to like really like test it in the field yet.
Yeah,
like,
of course
he
not.
Added that because of it, but Loki when he gets walked into the helicarrier and he like smiles super fucking creepily at Bruce, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like such foreshadowing before you realize what's going on. Tony walks into the bridge when they're all on there, and he's like, raise them as a mast, top sails.
But then he's like,
also the Galaga.
The Galaga, you can see every
we wouldn't notice, but we did. Yeah, that's
so
classic.
Good.
That's a top tier, like iconic line. I love how Tony and Bruce like immediately like kind of hit it off.
Yes,
because it makes sense that they would be able to talk to each other and kind of get along in that way.
Yep.
And then now we can talk about Loki and Black Widow.
Yes,
and
that
how
scene,
crazy that is. Yeah,
she outplayed a god. It's so good, but that's just it. Black Widow as a character changes from this movie on, but this Black Widow is almost Loki-like in terms of cunning.
That's what I'm saying though. And then this is another thing that highlights the problem is like how fucking hardcore he's saying all that shit. Like, I'm gonna fucking split his skull right in front of you. You fucking muling little piece of shit. And it's like, no, there's no way he went from that to the start of Loki.
Yeah,
the show. Right. Like, there's no way. That's not right. But still, I also noticed in that scene
the moment that he gets played and she realizes, she's like, oh,
she just turns it off. It's just
and
like a switch.
He's like, what the fuck?
Like, oh, so that's it.
It's so good, bro. Because then Loki's just like, what?
Yeah, what the hell?
Unfortunately, by that point, it's too late. But
yeah, I also noticed in that scene though. I just happened to notice it then. Like her suit, her suit looks really good in this.
It does.
I think it's probably my favorite one. It's like the classic.
Classic look. Yep.
And it doesn't look like it's like spandex. It looks like it's like nylon. I don't even know what the material is, but it looks like what it would be if somebody made a suit like that.
Yes. She has probably the easiest to make, unfortunately, but she has probably one of the most comic book accurate.
Yeah, I think that was great.
Suits.
And then I said, holy fucking shit, after watching Black Widow, he mentions her killing his daughter.
The daughter.
I was like, oh my fucking god, I didn't know that. Like, I thought that was just something they just like made up just for Black Widow movie, but they mentioned it here. Maybe that's something from the comics.
But that also goes to show you, how far back they were thinking about this. Like, I'm telling you right now, they were supposed to have a Black Widow movie a long time ago.
Yeah, but I don't know if they were planning on that. There's no way they were planning, because they couldn't have been. Because
I'm telling you,
the Black Widow movie takes place after like Civil War.
But I don't think it originally was supposed to be. I think they had to make it take place somewhere.
I guess, yeah. No.
They just knew there were going to be an origin story, and I guarantee you they had a partial build-up to it. They just didn't know what they were going to do.
So then shortly after that, she goes up and they all meet in the room with the staff, with Banner and everything. And Tony finally gets hacked into the system. And right when he does is when they're talking to Fury. And Fury's like, no, we're not doing this. And then he just pulls it up and he's like, I'm sorry, Fury, what were you lying?
That's a great line. Yeah, it's so good.
And then that whole scene of them arguing and clearly being like manipulated by the staff is so fucking good. And when you like finally realize that he has his hand on the staff and all that. And
dude, they were being played the whole time.
And somebody mentioned recently, I saw in a video, is like, do we think that they like planned for that to be the Mind Stone? Or do you think they retroactively did that?
Like,
because it feels like the Mind Stone,
it does.
Like, that would make sense. Yeah. But also, it doesn't really look like it, and they break it out of like a casing. But it's like, did they plan for that? Did they? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think they planned for that. I don't.
I don't think that scene makes me feel like they did, though. And just in that it's the Mind Stone.
It's possible, but at the same time, it's like, we'll never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll
never
know.
Unless somebody comes out about it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole scene is amazing. I'm sure you've seen it online. Somebody put together like not meme format, but like the thing of him saying to Tony, "You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play."
Yes.
And then you fast forward to Endgame and
yes,
he's dead.
Yeah, and then like, but it's not even just that. It's also when he says, "Oh,
everything special about you came out of a bottle," and then he gets Mjolnir. Yeah, that's really nice to look back on. I don't know if that's something that probably wasn't necessarily planned, but just like
still just so happened to work out that way.
Coincidentally works out very nicely.
And it's not even just that; it also takes place in this movie. Like they also they also turn each other's words against each other in this movie.
Yeah.
Tony was ready to sacrifice himself.
Yeah,
with the
which
missile.
we'll talk about that later. That is a problem for me. But
okay.
Black Widow. I wrote Black Widow and the Hulk. God motherfucking damn. That whole scene is amazing.
Yes.
It's fucking terrifying.
Extremely terrifying. It's tense.
I remember seeing that in the theater and freaking. Like I was much younger. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like she's running down the hallway and he's smashing everything behind her.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's funny because I said in the Incredible Hulk
that
he's very savage looking. It's more animalistic, but nah, man. This Hulk is good. He looks like Mark Ruffalo.
It's amazing.
He's strong. He's savage.
He's crazy.
Dude, he's barbaric as fuck.
Yeah. And she barely gets out of there alive. Like, barely.
And if it wasn't for Thor?
It wasn't for Thor, yeah.
She'd be dead.
And then I love when he's fighting Hulk, there's that point where he, like, gets into the hangar, and he's just, like, standing there, and it's just focused on him. And he's holding out his hand and waiting, and it's just a perfect time for him to fucking uppercut that bitch.
Him, and it's just like, yo, that shit was so good.
And also Hulk grabbing Mjolnir and literally, like, fucking falling through the floor trying to pick it up.
Yep.
That's pretty nice.
So I don't know if you knew this or not in the comics and probably some of the cartoons too. Hulk actually picks up the hammer at one point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but because he goes beyond like the strength he's supposed to, and he just does it by pure strength.
Yeah,
it's not as fast as he's supposed to be able to wield it, but he like literally takes the hammer at one point and throws it, and you're just like,
oh shit,
like, yeah.
I like that Iron Man, like jumps off the tower to get his suit or whatever when he's talking to Loki.
Yeah.
I just love the little detail of like he has to put on the bracelets so that the suit...
goddamn son, we just skipped so much.
Oh, did we?
We did because we're talking about.
Damn, I didn't put any much more notes on that.
No, that's okay. I actually want to talk about a couple things.
Yeah, no, we should talk about that more.
Okay, so I don't like Coulson's death. Okay. Because he doesn't actually die. I've never seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, I really should find out what sort of excuse they give for bringing him back from the dead.
But it sucks because Tony died without ever knowing Coulson was brought back to life. You know what I mean? Or he didn't die. Like, they could have told him. They should have given us an Endgame or Infinity War. Like, Coulson should have shown up.
Yeah.
Something, let these people know.
Maybe he dies in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. We don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He might actually be dead.
True. Maybe you're right, actually. I don't know that.
Because the stuff that I see nowadays from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I never see Coulson involved in it.
That's true.
Unless he just, takes a back seat, but
yeah.
Who knows?
But no, you're right. I don't see Coulson in any of the stuff. Like, I've seen the Ghost Rider stuff and some of that. I don't see Coulson in any of that. But anyways, but yeah, like, they never tell the Avengers, and it's just like, okay, cool, good job, guys. Like, you really
good job, guys.
The ball on that one.
Well done.
He does get a last laugh on Loki though when he shoots him with that gun. He's like,
that's what it does.
So that's what it does. Yeah, so good,
classic, great scene.
Then we have, I don't know how I feel about
wait. Actually, though, before that, it does kind of piss me off that like he didn't know Coulson was coming. How the fuck did he already have a projection made of himself? Like he can't just disappear and become a projection. He has to back off and then make one.
Yeah.
So how did he know that was going to happen?
That's exactly what I was thinking too. I was thinking like, how did he get back there when he didn't know Coulson was going to show up?
Yeah. So that kind of bothered
unless
me,
he already had that ready to go with the person he was talking to, which like
was Thor trapped in a cage. So why would he?
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have just been a safety thing. Now, speaking of the cage, do you think that would have killed Thor? No, that's what I'm saying. Right?
So why did that wouldn't have even killed the Hulk?
That's what I'm saying. Why did they make it such a?
I don't really understand.
Thing?
Yeah, like it seems to be like this is designed for the Hulk, but like all it would have done was just put the Hulk on the ground and then he would have broke out.
Pissed him off.
Yeah,
that's it.
There's no way it would have killed him.
Yeah.
Like I get the idea, the concept of it was really cool, but it would have not killed him. There's no way.
There's no way it would have killed Thor.
He literally falls out of the sky, not even in anything, and lands. And he's fine.
And he's
like
fine.
in the same movie that happens.
So that cage is absolutely dumb.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of it, but when you really think about it, it's like, no, that wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah. No, like you said, the idea of it, yes, but
the idea of having something like the Hulk is so strong, we need to have something ready for him if he comes on here is very nice.
What else? There was another thing. That scene where they're repairing the helicarrier. Like, that's awesome. Like, you actually get to see Captain America use a gun.
Yeah.
In that.
Well, he uses it in the other one.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying you get to see him like in modern times use it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that happens a lot.
Spraying like a motherfucker. He doesn't give a shit.
But like you get to see him use a gun. You don't get to see him. I don't think he ever uses a gun beyond this point. I think that's the last time you get to see him use a gun. I don't think he uses a gun beyond this.
Probably.
And then we have Tony almost getting fucking absolutely destroyed.
He's like,
under the propeller. Yeah, he's like, it's so good, dude. Yeah. And then he comes up and he saves Cap, which is really awesome.
I really love the whole helicarrier sequence. Like, I feel like that.
Why didn't we? Whoa! We skipped over Hawkeye completely in that scene. Completely.
He's there.
Yeah, I know, but like
he fights Black Widow.
Black Widow smacks the shit out of him.
Yeah,
smacks the shit out of him.
Yeah, I think that the whole helicarrier scene and the end scene are like on par, like with each other. Like they're both amazing.
That helicarrier scene it's when you get to see them first team up, where
but not
they're not fully coordinated. They're not fully coordinated.
Like Cap and Iron Man are helping each other, and Thor helps out Black Widow, but kind of by proxy. Like they're not intentionally teaming up, but
But it took Coulson dying for them to become the Avengers.
Yeah,
which I get
avenge him.
Yeah, which I get it. It's cool. But then having come back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't really know what's up with that. But let's see. So, yeah, they get Hawkeye back, and they realize that he's going to Stark Tower with the scepter, and that's where everything's going to happen. And they all take off to...
Like, we talk about how Tony figured that out, where he's basically got to be... He's got to be like, oh, he's going to need a place big enough, with his name on it. Like, he's basically making fun of him, and he's like, oh, shit, that's me. Like, so
then they all head over there, and the shit starts happening. I don't know. No, Tony goes up there, and they have the thing where he puts on the bracelets, and they're talking.
Standoff even before that. When he lands, he starts taking the suit off as he's walking.
Locking eyes. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yes. And the whole conversation is great. But like I said, I love that he has to grab the bracelets and put them on. You see the suit has to lock on in order to attract to him.
He offers him
the drink. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. He gives the suit, and then at that point, I guess they open the portal. Roundabout?
No, not yet.
What happens between then? He gets the suit, he takes off.
Yeah, it does. The portal does open.
I think he opens it, or Eric opens it.
Yeah, Eric opens it.
And then the motherfucker
explosion knocks him back, knocks him out.
Yeah, and all the discharge start coming in, and people, it just like starts showing all the destruction on the ground. And I noticed every time I rewatch Ashley Johnson. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
She plays the waitress who's like, Captain America saved my life. She's in like a few scenes.
Yeah.
That's the voice actress for Ellie in The Last of Us.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And this is like well before then.
Yeah,
like, this
obviously,
was her.
obviously.
Or was it? When was Last of Us? Last of Us was 2012, wasn't it? Isn't that the same year?
Alexa.
No, 2013. I know.
When did Last of Us
come out? It's 2013. It's 2013. I know it's 2013. Alexa, shut the fuck up.
Alexa, stop!
I'm saying fuck.
She says I'm not Miko. Okay, who cares? Anyways.
Anyway, yeah, she's the voice actress for Ellie in both games, and yeah.
Alexa, stop!
But anyway, I just noticed that, and I thought like she seems to be able to handle herself pretty capably, like in a live action role. And I just thought it was cool. So yeah, they do a lot of fighting. We could go in depth on all of it, but like it's a lot of beating people up and all that shit. And Tony, like the way that Hawkeye's up on the roof and calling out things for Tony, and like we mentioned in I think Iron Man 2 when we were talking about it, how he has the radar and you can clearly see how it adjusts to where he's going and the enemies around him.
And here you see it way more prominently. Yeah. Like you see you see that he's got enemies behind him.
Yes, very cool.
Yes, it's very, very well done.
And the way that Hawkeye's like giving him call outs and he's using them to their advantage, like they're really starting to work together.
Yes.
And then he, leads the massive fucking thing over to the street to them. And then we get to I'm always angry. That's my secret. And like that scene is so fucking cool, but what the fuck is he saying? What does he mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're always angry? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like it's a cool line, but when you think about it, what is he saying?
It doesn't make sense now.
It never made sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. No, even then you're right. It doesn't make sense. Like
what is he saying?
I think what he's saying is he's basically like accepting the anger part of it, but it doesn't come off like it's supposed to. It just makes
it sound like he's saying I'm always angry. Like what? You're always about to be the Hulk, but you're not.
No,
it doesn't. It didn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
It's such a cool,
I know it's a meme.
Moment.
I know it's a meme. I know it's a badass moment, and that's not to take away from it. But yes, that's.
I'll still enjoy it no matter what. I just like when you really think about it, it's like what the fuck is he saying?
So yeah, that seems badass. Oh, wait. Oh, I remember one of my notes. Black Widow's line is cringy as fuck in that part.
What?
When Tony's like, I'm bringing the party to you. And she like in deadpan seriousness goes, I don't see how that's a party. Bro, that line when I saw this time,
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on, you're over exaggerating.
No,
you're exaggerating. It's not that bad. She's just like, I don't see how it's a party. It's not like
no, she doesn't say like joking or anything. She's like literally like she's looking at it. She's like in bewilderment. She's like, how's that a party? And I'm like, what? Like why? It's like you didn't even have to throw that line in there. Like why did you do that? Okay. It's like they're just like. Scarlett Johansson's got like 3 less lines than everybody else. Throw a line in somewhere else. And that's like where they threw it. Like, no, man. Yeah. Like, they shouldn't have done that. They should have just left it alone. I'm telling you, rewatch that part, you'll be like, yeah, okay, maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
Dude, I remember watching that and being like, I gotta write this down.
There's a point though that also bothered me is Hawkeye on the corner of the roof. He just turns and just like he's talking and he just like pulls it back and just kills somebody like without looking. I'm like, okay, I get that he's a good shot, but he can't do that.
No, he can't because that's okay. So that's them showcasing. At first, I thought about that too. I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But that's them showcasing how much attention he's paying, like his perception. Like I'm talking in a movie,
but he's never looking at it.
But he is though. There's people who can look out of the corner of their eye without ever have to look away.
But it's not that. It's completely behind him.
Yeah, I know.
A full like all the way back here.
I mean, that's true.
Like
that's
I was looking at it, it's like maybe there's some way that he could like maybe he heard it, but even if he heard it, it's still way too unrealistic.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, it is supposed to show off how good of an attention he's paying around him. It is supposed to be that way.
Yeah, but I think they could have. I think it could have been a little more realistic, in that he doesn't just like he's just like casually talking and just turns, shoots an arrow, and just hits somebody like that. There's no way. Like but, I get it, but damn.
But then there's
right after that is when they get the Avengers shot of them.
Yes, yeah, no, before that. Is it before this shot or is it after the Avengers shot?
What are we looking? What are you talking about?
Where the cop, where he's like, why do I have to listen to you? And then like that fight thing happens. I think that is after. Sure. But that Avengers shot gives me chills, man.
Classic.
So good. That's the very first time we get the Avengers score.
Yeah.
It literally does not happen until that very moment. And that fucking, it's perfection. It's amazing.
I like that the Hulk's voice in this, and not only the face, but the voice is, in this particularly, I think it's a problem. They added it more later, like in Ragnarok, and I actually like it less, is that in this, it really sounds like Mark Ruffalo.
It does. It sounds like
his voice super deep.
It sounds like a muffled
Mark Ruffalo. But I really like the way it sounds in this. And I think when they get to like Ragnarok, where they haven't even talked constantly, they changed it a lot because it wouldn't have worked as well. But I don't really like that version.
But it makes sense because at this point, Mark Ruffalo is still subconsciously awake inside. He is like, shut up. But he's still awake inside. He still knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But in here, he's shut down. Like he's completely given up, and he's just let the Hulk take over.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like this is the Hulk.
That's the opposite.
Yeah. No.
It's the opposite. In Ragnarok, it's entirely the Hulk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's stuck. You just reversed it though. You said it the other way around. You were talking about Avengers. You said that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you did mean the other way around.
Like Bruce Banner's completely gone.
There's still a little bit of him there.
Yeah. No, but he's completely gone, and the other one is still there. So like. Yeah, that's why his voice is full. It's full Hulk personality, full Hulk voice. Like that's fully the Hulk. But I think the reason we see it this way is because it's them consistently clashing.
Yeah,
like they don't accept each other.
I love that. Not long after that, we find out that Fury is. They start trying to launch a nuke at New York, and they're like, we have unscheduled takeoff. And he just smash cuts to Fury running out with a massive fucking RPG.
Before that, you skipped over like one of the best lines in the movie where he's like, I understand your plan, but seeing this is a stupid ass plan or whatever, he says to the council.
Oh yeah, but seeing this as a stupid ass plan, I've elected to ignore it.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that.
And then it just smash cuts to him running out like with a big ass RPG. Yeah. It's like, oh damn.
For nothing.
Yeah, for absolutely nothing. Jet. And then this is probably my biggest problem with the movie is they send the missile, it launches, and Iron Man gets underneath it.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Wait.
Yeah,
before you make this point. So, right before he takes off, right? And, the whole sacrificial thing.
Yeah.
Did you notice that, how he said, I saw a shawarma shop,
shawarma.
Like 2 blocks away.
That's at the end, though.
Yeah, no. But did Rachel pointed out, like, he sees the shop.
He actually flies by it?
No, he doesn't even fly by it. He gets smashed right in front of it. And he starts to get beaten up. Like that scene where they're beating him up.
Oh, I remember that scene, yeah.
Like there's a shawarma
right
that's
there. Funny.
And he sees it, like, when he starts fighting.
He's like, I don't know what that is, but I want it.
He's looking at it.
That's cool.
It's so good, yeah. You actually see him see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, the missile is powered by a rocket. And it's moving on its own. So just turn it upwards, push it a little bit, and let it go.
Yeah, but
you do not need to ride it all the way into space. And let alone like him, destroying the whole like company of them. That maybe that's why he did it.
No,
you don't need to. All you need to do is close the portal.
No, they did say that. No, they said it. He said, at one point there's a line, and maybe you just like looked away, you didn't hear it because it is quick. It is a quick line, but he does say like, oh, we can use that. Like he basically is just like, oh yeah, I'll just send it.
But they don't need to. They already had a way to close the portal. That's all they need.
But he literally but think about it this way, right? If they close the portal, like the Chitauri would have still.
No, there's no way for them to get there. The whole point is the portal.
But the ones that are
only way
there,
for
though,
them to
they
get
shut
there.
down because he destroys like that whole thing.
Yeah, but still, they could have just wiped up the rest of them.
I mean,
my point is that he didn't need to sacrifice his life for that in any
It
way.
helped. No, it helped. It helped. I'm telling you, man. He destroyed the army.
It was
He destroyed
unnecessary because
army.
the whole like underlying idea behind it is that he's like, no, I have to do this because otherwise the city will get nuked. Or you could just turn it up and let it go, and then
No,
focus
but
on
even
what's
then,
going
it
on
doesn't
down
matter,
here
it's a
when you
nuke.
close the portal.
It doesn't matter. Even then, it's a nuke. There's radiation that will rain down on people. It is
No,
still
you send it up and then you close the portal without him
without
underneath
him jumping.
it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I
He doesn't. He didn't need to be underneath
it.
it.
First is because like you were like, oh,
And not even just that. Like he doesn't like send it. He just flies with it. It's still being thrusted on its own. Like he doesn't do anything to launch it at the thing. He could have just pointed it at them and let it go.
Yeah, you're right. He could have.
He didn't have to go at all. That's just
But I think
it bothers me
he
so much.
boosted it further up.
Yeah,
I
but he
think
could have still
boosted
at the
it.
last second done it because he doesn't boost it in space. He's just floating with it in space and
Yeah.
then he lets go and flops.
And flops, yeah.
But he could have done right to the edge of the portal and then come back down.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
it just doesn't add up for me. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
That's
He
what
probably could
bothers
have done
me.
it a little bit better.
But whatever. It's fine. He survives and all
Yeah.
that. So,
a
I noticed.
clutch- with a
I thought it was
clutch,
funny though. He sends that in and blows them up, and the Chitauri all shut down, and it's just like the droids from Phantom Menace in Star Wars. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
you
but I mean-
destroy the command center, and they all just
Yeah,
fucking shut
but that's
down.
basically what they did with this. Is that
Yeah.
yeah.
I just noticed that time. I didn't realize before. Like he destroys it, and they all just fucking collapse, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they're just like the droids.
Yeah.
He falls back down, gets saved by Hulk, gets woken back up.
That's also when we see our first little dip into Civil War, where it's very throwaway, but they're talking in the news, and she's like, "I don't care if they did all this damage. Like they saved me," and they're like, "Oh, are they heroes or mayhem or are they a problem?" Like that's when you start to see the first real foreshadowing of what's coming with Civil War.
And then Stan Lee's on the news, like playing chess or whatever, and he's
Yes.
like, "Big green," or what do you say? "Big green guy seems ridiculous to me," or whatever the fuck he says. And then Thanos in the in credit scene, or whatever he says. I don't know if he says anything or if he just turns and smiles.
I think he just turns and smiles.
And
if he says anything,
and
who
then
gives a shit?
post credits, it's them eating shawarma.
Yeah, stop eating shawarma.
Which is was a reshoot. Like they went back and did that like last minute, just because they had the idea, and then it's like somebody pointed out like that I saw in a video. I was like, well, wait, but this is like right after the tower. So like, where's Loki? They just like chained him up outside like a dog and went in and had shawarma. Like but it's overall amazing movie. Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's a perfect culmination of like.
And I was
going to
point out as well, the aspect ratio is a point of contention that people don't like. The aspect ratio is so unusual, and it's like the whole screen instead of black bars. I don't know the exact difference in aspect ratios, but yeah, it's a little weird now looking back on it, and like watching it on TV. But at the same time, when you saw that the first time in theaters, it really added to this being like an experience of like because it felt so different. It's like, this is something we haven't seen before. The way this is filmed and like the aspect ratio makes you feel like it's such a big deal.
Yes,
because everything's larger.
It's supposed
and nothing,
to feel grand. It's supposed to feel
I actually
grand.
really like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like everything.
Even though it doesn't match
scale.
up with all the rest of the movies here on out at all, but I feel like at the time, especially in the theaters, that was a mind-blowing like experience to see it like that.
That movie, it's so funny because looking back at it now, that movie is not a big deal. It's
No.
But at the time, it was like, where the fuck are they gonna go from here? And now we have Endgame, and it's just
crazy.
like
Now it's like,
where the fuck are they gonna go from here?
Fuck?
Yeah, it's so cool though.
Yeah. Okay. So now we gotta rank them.
Yeah, we gotta rank them. All right, let's talk about our ranking because I have my little notes right, or not my notes, but my little thing right here.
6 to 1. Yeah, we're not worse. Like they're not.
Yeah,
they're not
bad, but
Incredible Hulk is number 6.
Mine too.
Number 5 is Thor.
Mine too.
Number 4 would be Iron Man 2.
Okay.
And number 3 would be Iron Man. And number 2 would be Cap. And number 1 would be Avengers. Is that exactly the same?
Man of the week, baby. It's the same exact thing.
Oh, you already ordered them?
Yeah, I already ordered them. I have. Yeah, that's my exact.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
We're on the same page
so
on this. Yeah, that's
Incredible
my
Hulk,
exact.
Thor, Iron Man 2, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Avengers.
Yeah, that's my exact ranking. It's perfect, dude.
It is.
It's
I
perfect.
I don't think anybody would
Disagree.
Really,
now.
I feel like it would be hard pressed to find somebody who's like, no, actually, Thor's the best one.
Yeah, no, dude, I'll fucking stab him real.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
No,
else
in all seriousness, Thor wasn't. It's not.
But this is also only 6 movies, and it's a lot easier to work. Like once we get into phase 2 and 3, it's gonna be a lot fucking harder.
Yeah, not just that. That's also where your and I's list is gonna go.
Yeah, it's gonna differ
in different directions.
Okay, so we did it. That's it. That's all.
It. It's good. It's good. I mean, this is where we're gonna end the episode, right?
Yeah, this is it.
All right, so let's hold on, wait. So let's just one more little thing before we completely shut down. Let's talk about the future a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, well, first things first. My name is Angel because we haven't really even discussed that.
My name is Drew.
Yeah, so we haven't really discussed that. So if anybody's actually watched this far into the episode, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're currently just working on doing whatever.
We're trying to get a feel for it.
Yeah, we're trying to get a feel for it. We're still not very fully comfortable with it yet, but I mean, we have our social media, which Drew will post, and then if this is going to be audio only, well, you're shit out of luck. No, I'm just kidding. We'll figure out a way to really get it out there, but odds are if you found this by audio, it's because we've promoted it on our other social media anyways. But yeah, anybody who stayed long enough or anybody who's going to subscribe or follow us or whatever it is that you're doing, we appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's it for this one.